Hey, Sarah, can you hear me? Uh, is that it?
Bob, I can hear, I just heard you.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay. Can you see my
Yes.
screen?
Yes, I certainly can.
Okay, how do I turn on the stupid video? Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't talk to you earlier. My dad's actually in town, and I'm
Oh,
trying to
that's
keep,
great.
yeah, I'm trying to keep him amused and busy. So
That's, oh, wow, that's great, Bob. That is
I want to,
great.
let me give you a call afterwards also. I think he wants to sign up for Legal Shield.
Happy to
Okay.
help him. You know, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks, Sarah.
And by
And
the way,
also,
go ahead.
yeah, you also, I got a call from another member. We should really talk. Okay. So
Let's call me after it's over. As a matter of fact, I may not have to hop off tonight. I'm not sure
uh-huh.
because my 8 o'clock is a standby situation tonight.
Yeah, okay, okay,
So that's a great thing.
okay, okay.
So it's standby and I'll know it's like I got my phone right here. So
Yeah, okay, okay. But anyway, let's wait a couple more minutes if that's okay,
oh,
Sarah.
you know, Bob, you can go into 5 after and then you do all your sharing because I only need 10 minutes.
Well, maybe if it's okay, we might wait till maybe a couple minutes.
Yeah, go ahead
So,
and do that because then I just need about 10 minutes. And then if you want to circle back with another story, I get excited just hearing about all your success stories. It's like I look forward to just hearing, all of your success stories. So the beauty is we can really do this in much less time. I'm okay.
yeah, I got another story. I was talking to one of the Merit Web attorneys, one of the Legal Shield attorneys, is especially helpful. So I was thanking her, and she kind of just gave a little sigh and said, you'd be surprised how many clients they say, well, we don't agree with you. We're just going to Google it. I say, and she's been practicing law for over 20 years.
Wow.
So I tell them, if you think you can beat Legal Shield with Google, why do you even have Legal Shield? You'll find out the hard way. That's not how it works. So anyway,
it's
that'll
not what
come
you
later.
want to do. I wouldn't want to Google.
No, yeah.
No. I just spoke with one last week.
Did you?
Yep. And have a contract here that was reviewed on my desk. It's like, nope, no Googling. I promise you, no Googling.
Oh, well, Google almost messed me up before I did Legal Shield a long time ago. And it's a property I still own. And I question, one day I'm going to want to sell it. And I probably should have had a real attorney look at it. So, yeah, there's danger to Google. So,
well, you still might can get them to look at it though, Bob.
That's true. That's very true.
Even though it's like a pre-existing.
Yeah,
call up.
That's true.
Please call, exercise that. Yes. Can you hear me okay? Because my volume.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, super.
In fact, I have to, I'll be darned. Let me, for some reason, okay, let me see. Okay, there's a bunch of people in the waiting room.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. In fact, I had started a foreclosure. Yeah, okay. This thing's so slow. I actually started a foreclosure with a non-Legal Shield attorney who shall remain unnamed. And I think I'm going to pull the file from him because he doesn't know what he's doing. So I should have gone with Legal Shield to begin with, the Merit Web people. So anyway.
Well, it's all good. It's all good, but you can still call and inquire about that.
Yeah.
And that's the great news.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
great news.
I spoke to tonight's speaker, Chad. Okay, he's going to be in a little bit later. Okay, I told him he's not going to start talking until a little later in the meeting. So,
okay.
Well, this should be a pretty good meeting.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing him.
Anyway, you got to start going back to 1 million cups. They have a new location.
Oh, are they back face to face?
They will, starting a week from tomorrow, the 18th. In fact, have you ever heard of MapQuest? mapquest.com. That's what I used to do before Google Maps came on the scene to map my routes.
Yes,
And
MapQuest.
they actually have the founder of MapQuest speaking in person. It's going to be the 18th on Wednesday, which, by the way, I forgot to put it on the calendar. Dang it.
Oh, so what venue?
It's in Cottontown. It's the Noma Warehouse on Sumter Street. It's like an arts. It's a warehouse mainly for arts and events. It's like an arts and events venue. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
It sounds like it's relatively new. So
Oh, well, I'll certainly look that up and plan to be in attendance.
it's gonna be every Wednesday from 9 to 10.
So is that going
So,
to be ongoing or just for this relaunch, reopen?
It's from the 18th of this month. It's going to be ongoing. You know,
Okay.
like it was before the
At the
pandemic.
library?
So
Okay, super.
I mean, unless they shut us down again, you know, the whole
Oh.
COVID thing. So
Way things
which
are
hopefully-
going.
yeah, hopefully that won't happen. But okay, Sarah, is it okay if we get started? Are you okay?
Oh, yes, I'm definitely ready. I mean, yes.
Okay.
I was just
Okay, I
thinking, you know,
appreciate
if you wanted to wait a minute or two, you know, we're still good with our time,
it. Okay.
being respectful there.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, Sarah. Okay, everyone, thank you for coming on early. This is our pre-meeting event. And because we're in a field, real estate, which can involve lawyers, a lot of lawyer fees, I asked the local regional director of Legal Shield for our area, Sarah Mitchell, if she could present before each meeting and let us know what's available, how we can save costs and legal fees and identity theft protection and whatnot. So this is the Legal Shield pre-meeting event. Now, one thing I've noticed, especially with COVID-19, is all of a sudden now there are lawsuits now starting to be thrown back and forth. I think I saw one in the paper where now state employees are trying to sue the state of South Carolina for, you know, vaccination or something like that. Okay. So they're saying we don't have to get vaccinated, and the state's saying, yes, you do. Okay. So that's one I'm going to have to keep an eye on. Additionally, well, here's one here. Okay. Our Governor McMaster was sued over some order bringing all state workers back to the workplace. As you know, we've been working from home. And additionally, in addition to that, we always get legal questions in areas that we probably shouldn't be depending too much on reliable answers. For example, this was in our Facebook group, the Midlands REIA Money Mastermind, where there's a lot of deals being flipped. This person had owned a mobile home that was straddling land owned by two separate people. And the one person who did not own the mobile home wanted it off his land. Did he have the right to evict that mobile home, even though he didn't own it, even though it was on his land? You know, I can't answer that, and nobody in our group, unless they have a license to practice law, should really be answering that. So that's something I just, dial Legal Shield, because I mean, it's included in my monthly membership. It's basically free. So in fact, I use Legal Shield at least twice a month, at least. Here's another one. Someone's asking for a good probate attorney. And again, this is a Legal Shield issue. I know a few of them, but are they good? I don't know. Okay. And again, that's something you have to do your own due diligence on, but I'd go to Legal Shield for this one as well. And here's another one. Apparently a couple was gouged out of a roof repair on their mobile home. They're charged $22,000 on it. And basically, how do they get the contractor to drop the lien that he put on them? Again, that's a Legal Shield question. I can only throw ideas out and I have to preface it by saying not an attorney, okay, or not a lawyer. So this is another Legal Shield question for how the couple would be able to get the contractor off their back for this $22,000 lien that he gouged them, to replace a mobile home roof. Here's another one. This is a personal one. One of our members, he was in a car accident involving 4 people, himself and 3 people. And he has had to, or I think maybe still has to deal with the possibility that they're going to sue for over the limits of his liability insurance. And you can see here, Hawk Law is representing them. And I don't know about you. I don't know much about Hawk Law. I just see this guy up on the big billboard there pointing and saying, "We will fight for you." You know how all those guys say that. So that's, again, something I'd go to my Legal Shield attorney about. Now, for my personal use of Legal Shield, I actually had a couple of them this past month, but I'm going to tell you the real estate one. I sold one of my houses in Batesburg, and there was a title issue. Now, Legal Shield, you'll get, what the law says. You may not like what the law says. It's not something you want to hear sometimes, but it's something you have to hear. Okay. And this here wasn't necessarily something I didn't want to hear, but I did learn some lessons about title insurance. So I consulted Legal Shield. A title issue was found when I was selling the house. So I immediately called my Legal Shield attorney, Merritt Webb, and they told me a little bit about how title insurance works. Basically, it was my house in Batesburg, and Christopher Curry had sold me the property some years ago. And now the closing attorney missed that the husband may have inherited an interest in the house that was, well, it was undocumented because they didn't know the guy existed. So that was a potential issue. So I called Legal Shield, and first thing they said was, never lose your title insurance documents. Very important. Okay. Once you get title insurance, it's not like, you know how you get like health insurance. Okay. And you get like these periodic mailers saying we've updated the policy and stuff like that. And I hate to say it, I kind of generally, for the most part, I throw it in the trash. Okay. Don't ever do that with your title insurance. And there's a couple other things about title insurance I learned that I have to know. I didn't necessarily want to know. One thing is I was able to find the title insurance policy, okay, for that property. You can see here, the premium back then was only $195. For those of you who are trying to really be cheap and save on something like title insurance, in our markets, don't do it. Get title insurance for everything you buy, everything you're going to take title to. If you're just going to sign a contract or something, then obviously you're not going to be in the chain of title and you never actually have title to the property. I wouldn't worry so much about it. But if you're actually going to do, like, say, a double closing or something, and you're actually going to have title, even for a day, get title insurance. Now, a few lessons learned, courtesy of Legal Shield, is, first of all, don't ever lose your title insurance policies. Big no-no. Okay. If I hadn't found that policy, I'd have probably had to pay several $1,000s to straighten something up that the closing attorney back then should have gotten right the first time. Also, law firms in South Carolina can discard your files after 7 years. Basically, don't count on them having copies of your title insurance policy after 7 years. Okay. Quit claiming a property, even to yourself. Okay. Some people will say, like, oh, I want to quit claim this property to my LLC, or vice versa. Okay. I actually did that for my house down in Aiken, my personal residence. I quit claimed it from my LLC to me. And I didn't know this back then. That invalidates the existing title insurance. Okay. So basically my house in Aiken does not have title insurance. And always get title insurance in our markets. There's a lot of railroad activity up here. As you know, Columbia, I mean, you saw the tracks and everything. Columbia, Lexington. In fact, you can't even, there's nowhere you can go without hearing a train whistle every once in a while. Okay. Because of that, you don't want someone like, say, Burlington Northern or Reading Railroad to come like 200 years out of the past and say, we have claimed your property. Always get title insurance in our markets. As I showed you, it's cheap. It's cheap insurance. Okay. Don't try to cheap out. That's what I learned courtesy of Legal Shield, among other things. All right. So I'm hopefully a little bit wiser. Now, as for our Legal Shield Regional Director, Sarah Mitchell. Okay, Sarah is formally trained in business administration and accounting, so she definitely knows business. Okay, she's a former manager at Bell South. She signed on with Legal Shield in 1998 and is now full-time with Legal Shield. She regularly trains on how to use Legal Shield services for affordable legal and ID theft protection services. and she specializes in the small business and employee benefits arena. Okay, so if you ever have any questions, Sarah will always pick up the phone for you, or she'll always get back to you. Okay, if you ever have any questions about affordable legal protection or identity theft protection, Sarah's the person to call. Okay, now Sarah, if it's okay, I'm going to see if I can get you on here. I should have made you a co-host earlier.
The screen share, it's all good.
Okay, you're a co-host, I think.
I'll see if I can screen. Yeah. Well, let me just, okay. Can you see the screen?
Okay, I can barely hear you, but I can see your screen.
Oh, wow. Can you hear me any better?
That's good now. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good now.
Okay, super, super. Okay, I'm trying to go to, bear with me, slideshow here, Bob. One moment. It's, oh, well, it just went. Okay, can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And you can hear me okay as well?
Yeah.
Okay, super. Well, great afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me to visit with you. I look so forward to our second Monday meetings. And Bob, he could have gone the whole 30 minutes plus another 30 minutes with sharing his stories. He condensed it to a few. But one thing for sure, he can attest to the fact that Legal Shield has certainly been quite beneficial and a money-saving plan for him and his business and family, because not only does he protect the business side, but he also has protection in place there for his family. And in addition to that, he now with Midlands REIA, and I'm so excited to be in a partnership because again, we're in the helping business. And one thing about Bob, anytime he learned of anything to help others, he's so willing to share that information. So he's one of the marketing arms for Legal Shield, helping to get it out into the community. Your business can benefit from this as well. And I'm the mouthpiece pretty much for Midlands REIA, because as I would do for many others, you want to help educate others, but you may not have time because you want to stay in your lane. And I'm happy to be that person to reach out and educate others on your behalf if you would like to have that type relationship. So keep that in mind, and it would just be an extension of Midlands REIA. I think we all can agree that with the right resources, running a business can be easier. We're all busy. I mean, I'm a business owner myself. And even before Legal Shield, I was with Bell South, but still having a little business on the side, doing different things. And when that is the case, you just can't understand or have time to go and research all the legalese. And again, what do we know? Deep pockets can, the fact that many of us don't have that legal expense budget there, we may not go down the right track, so to speak. So we'll call our friends or we'll Google our way to a legal answer, and that may not be in our best interest. I'm just going to ask you a few questions as I go through this very quickly. You'll have my number at the end, and as a matter of fact, I can give it to you now if you would like to write it down. Any questions I answer for you, they'll be on behalf of Midlands REIA. And my number is 803-622-5334. 803-622-5334, Sarah Mitchell. But, just going through this real quick because it is an overview. Just ask yourself, have you ever experienced any of the following? Debt collection issues, signing a contract or contracts not reviewed, signing documents not reviewed. And when I say not reviewed, I mean by your attorney. You may review it, but gosh, you didn't specialize in that area. So it could be an and or a but or a not that make all the difference in the world. What about contractor and supplier disputes, internet security breaches, tax audits, employee confidentiality issues, threats of consumer law? We all, many individuals in business, that is entrepreneurs, they experience those type things, and just know you're not alone. COVID, we won't go into that because that is a whole nother piece. But prior to COVID, since COVID, there's still some of the same concerns plus others. And now with the COVID twist, we're in a worse situation, because when it comes down to debt collection issue, you have to ask yourself, can I or should I send a collection letter? Can I or should I report that debt to a credit repository? So these are things now that has come about with COVID, the evictions and all of those different things, a new set of laws and regulation, which means where do you get the accurate legal information? And that is tapping an app as far as we're concerned, which is exciting, and going to your law firm, Legal Shield. Bob has used this even on the road, and he travels quite a bit. So as you know, it's as well as myself. So we want you to know that's what we're looking at. And of course, when it comes down to small business owners, we know that nearly 60% of small business owners said they've experienced a legal event in the past 2 years. That is up now almost like 80+% because of COVID. And it's where they just don't have all the answers. And most of the time they don't have the funds. Many of them have lost so much income because of COVID. So just imagine where they are. But the beauty is we are helping. People are still going through all the EIDL loans, the SBA, the paycheck, the PPP and all of that. And many of them are not clear on how that money is to be dispensed or how to really go about it. What if you could just tap an app and call your law firm and not have that issue? So that's where we are, and why we're so excited with the opportunity to share, about what we're doing and how we're doing, to how we're helping so many individuals in your industry in particular. Going back almost to the beginning here, have you signed a contract? Have you had a landlord issue, had a debt uncollected, receive a traffic ticket? Because you are the business. So if it's impacting you personally, your business most likely will be impacted as well. What about the need for updating your will? We are helping with all those things. And so we just go on to say, just imagine having affordable access to your law firm for your business and personal matters for about $1.25 a day. I mean, really $1.25 a day. I can't even go to McDonald's and get a senior cup of coffee, I don't believe, for $1.25. That's what we are arming our entrepreneurs with, our business owners with, our families who are now working from home, doing the side jobs there to just, side gigs to make things work. We have a home business supplement. And this particular plan is the most popular one for many of the REIA members. And it's so affordable. It's only $12.95 added to your legal plan, which is only $24.95. So you're looking at less than $40 a month for comprehensive protection. Yes, there is greater protection that you can add based on, the need there for your business. But everything that Bob shared with you, truth is, it's falling up under this particular $37.90 a month. So with this home business supplement, you not only have the personal, which I will highlight, but more importantly, for your day-to-day business operation, you're looking at unlimited advice, consultation, research, letters like what Bob was referencing. Those were some research consultations. The attorney researched that information, got back with Bob. There was no billable hours. It was like, thank you very much. And that was the end of conversation. They make phone calls on your behalf. They'll write a letter if need be, or advise you on a next step. You have designated consultations there. You have document review. They even help with debt collection letters. And the beauty here, whatever is collected is yours 100%. It's not where you are having to defer that to a collection agency and they take off 30 or 40%, you get the remainder. No, all of it is coming to you. Our S-Audit Legal Services, part of that same $12.95 supplement added to your personal plan. Now, many businesses are pivoting. They're doing business outside the state. Guess what? We have interstate services here, part of that plan. So that's what's so huge. And let me now just share with you the core, our flagship is the legal plan. And this is the $24.95. Not only is it covering you, but it's also covering your family. When we say family, we mean family. It's covering you, your spouse or a significant other. It's covering any children living at home up to the age of 26. It covers them if they're away in college or deported military, if they're never married. I mean, that's huge. School is about to reopen. Many young adults are going away to college. You know, what if something happened at the dorm? Just imagine having the access there for that young adult and you having that access as well. That's what you're looking at. So it's comprehensive. Even if you are the guardian of a child, they can be covered. So just want you to know, under that basic legal plan of $24.95, you're looking at unlimited telephone consultation. On the personal side, we've used it from roof repair, going against insurance and the roofing company, appraisers, all of that with a dispute. They want to repair half the roof, replace half due to hail damage instead of the entire roof. Got it resolved. HOA association situation with the fence, got it resolved. I mean, I could go on and on and on with how I've used the service. I mean, people are using it. My daughter used it for bullying with the twins in school, got it resolved. So that's what you're talking about. They write letters. They review your personal contracts and documents, up to 15 pages on the personal side. I have a contract here the attorneys reviewed and advised me what I should give consideration to, what they recommend as far as adjusting it, some language in there. Didn't cost me anything, part of my membership. So you're looking at that, the will. I've done more will workshops in 2020 than my entire 20 plus years with Legal Shield. You're looking at updating your will, the living will, last will and testament, healthcare power of attorney. All of those documents you can update and or just have them in place if you don't currently have them in place for that same $24.95, you and your spouse, and update annually without any additional cost. Huge. Civil trial defense, part of your coverage. IRS audit if you are a W-2, but I know most individuals here, we're associated with that 1099 component, meaning we have that home business element there. So this would just, I mean, the $12.95 would give you coverage there. We even cover uncontested divorce, adoption, name change, separation, all of that. So part of that same $24.95 speeding ticket, we don't say go and break the law. However, if you were to get a ticket, you have representation there. My last ticket, they were able to negotiate my points and my fine. And I just felt like, boy, I could have kissed that attorney. I was so excited and elated. I mean, a 4-point ticket is nothing to be proud of. So that's what we're looking at, in addition to having emergency access, part of that coverage. So this is just highlighting the service. You have an app on your phone. As a matter of fact, we all have new apps. My PowerPoint is a little old here because the apps changed on yesterday and they haven't downloaded our new app yet to us. But we have a new app where you can even go in and schedule what you want to talk to the attorney about on your own, and a best time to call you without even calling the law firm. So that is where we have pivot and looking at disruptive innovation. We know affordable legal protection in and out of the courtroom is a necessity. It's not the rich, it's a necessity, period. The other area of coverage that we are so proud that we are able to provide as a layer of protection is identity theft. I will not spend a lot of time on that, except to tell you it is the fastest growing white collar crime in the country. Identity theft is up 400% since March 2020. Bad times bring about interesting situations. So again, people are getting loans under others' EIN number. They are using other social for unemployment. It is interesting what's going on in the marketplace. And we are proud to say that we not only monitoring your accounts, but we're into the social media as well as the U factor. That's what it is, comprehensive. And we've also been identified as one of the leaders in the nation when it comes down to how robust our service is. Cybersecurity, Our small businesses are being attacked more and more. What do we do here? We provide an umbrella of protection there as well. And you can see here from this particular slide, Forbes have already identified us as the best of the best for 2021. I mean, we've been recognized in Benefits Pro, cybersecurity, everything benefits, Money Magazine. They're all attesting to how robust our service is. This right here is just an at a glance. I won't highlight any more of our services, but just know that we have a gun owners plan that is extremely robust. I have relationships with a lot of deputies, and they attest to how robust that plan is. We have the home business supplement, $12.95, personal trial defense supplement, share rider, Uber, Lyft. We have the commercial drivers plan. So in essence, we do have a portfolio of services. We all know lawsuits happen. You know, let your provider law firm handle the defense part. And that basic plan that I was sharing for you earlier, that many of the REIA members are participating in, is the $37.90 a month. And that is just so huge. And of course, you can see we have relationship with other merchants that provide discounts. I mean, the perks in itself will provide you a greater discount than what your membership expense is to cover your business. And we all know, as business professionals, all of that is a write-off. So it's the best write-off in the world. It's the best of both worlds, in my opinion. So that's what we're looking at. I'm just going to pause there and turn it back over to Bob and say thank you so much. However, for those of you who would like to reach out to me, I'm Sarah Mitchell, 803-622-5334. I will facilitate, answer any questions that you have, and direct you to midlandsrea.wearelegalshield.com to activate your service. Having said that, Bob, thank you so much for allowing me to share tonight.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. Everyone, I put Sarah's phone number in the chat area in case you need to write that down. It's a good phone number to have. And I saw our keynote speaker for tonight. There's two Chad Jordans on here. I don't know if they're both co-hosts now. So if you want to Zoom bomb away. So, but let me, it's okay, Sarah. Let me just go ahead and share my screen.
Okay.
Okay. You see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. Well, anyway, this is the actual Midlands REIA meeting. As you know, there's several REIAs in the area, and I do urge you to go check them all out. I was just told about another good one called REIA Up. I think that's run by Christy and Noah Harris. Okay. And I just found out about that one, and that sounds like to be a good one too. They're good people to learn from as well. Anyway, this is the Midlands REIA meeting. Now, we're not meeting in person yet. Tentatively, we're supposed to start meeting next month, September, but I just saw this come out 3 days ago. Okay, apparently Lexington Medical Center is, again, looks like they're locking down because of at least the Delta version of COVID-19. Also, I'm reading news about where it's starting to spike up again. We may or may not be meeting in September. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Hopefully we can start meeting in person because everyone seems to be doing it, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Okay. So that's why I say tentatively. Okay. We'll let you know well in advance though. Hopefully we can start meeting in person again soon, because I don't think anything beats in person. Liability disclosure. No one here, as far as I know, is licensed as an attorney or financial expert. So if basically anything on here is pretty much hearsay, personal experiences, and what pretty much does follow the law for the most part. However, if you question the legal or financial wisdom of anything you hear from Midlands REIA meetings or, otherwise, please seek qualified help, because we're definitely not it. We're at least officially. And this is, again, why I use Legal Shield. They kind of keep me on the straight and narrow. Okay, a few REIA goals for 2021 and beyond. Okay, this is kind of a given. I see this posted numerous times. Okay, And also the major gurus, the national traveling gurus also admit only 3% out of all the people who get into creative real estate the way we do it ever do a single deal. And let's face it, even remain in it. And a lot of people just give up and, they just say, okay, whatever. And they just quit. Now, it's not because this is such a hard business. It just takes tenacity. All right. I think in the Columbia area, this is closer to 10% as the success rate. But again, that's kind of empirical. I'm kind of looking at it and saying, okay, there's no solid data for that. But basically, the failure rate for our field of real estate is very high. Just know that. Some of our goals include more workshops, and I'm going to have a doozy coming up. I was out of town for most of the summer. I had some family medical issues to deal with, and but there's a house I have off of Bluff Road that it's going to be pretty major rehab, and we're going to have a workshop there. The typical 3-step workshop, the pre-rehab, the during rehab, and the post-rehab process. So hopefully a bunch of you can attend that. Be wary of expensive coaching programs on your credit. Okay. There's even some local folks here trying to shill anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 in higher coaching programs. And they know the failure rates in this business, but they don't care. If they push for you to get on your credit card, I'd walk away. It doesn't take a lot of money to learn what we do just to generate the kind of fees if you want to go into one of those coaching programs. Don't put it on your credit. Learn the basics, earn it first, and then go buy a coaching program if that's what you really want to do. Lots of our folks do not. They figure I learned enough. I don't need coaching. That's fine too. Okay. One of Midlands REIA's goals is to greatly increase success rate affordably, being the key word, because it can be done affordably to at least 50% or higher. 100% would be nice. Probably not attainable, but it'd be nice. For beginners, we want to get you up and running independently from anyone else as soon as possible, even us. Okay. We know your situation may change. You may move out of state or whatever. You may just decide, hey, we don't need any REIAs anymore, which is actually would be nice. Okay. But that's our goal, is to get you up and running independently from anyone else as soon as possible. For the advanced investors who decide to stick around with us, we want to provide the best continuing resources possible. This is why I do my own, among other things, this is why I do my own evictions and whatnot. I want to know, how does the system work? Okay. Deborah Wanger, I don't know if you know her. She really knows the system because she does like over 80 mobile homes or something she manages. So she's also a great resource. Now, why the low success rate? This is why I think it is, okay? The way we do real estate, it's a pretty low barrier of entry, easy in, easy out, okay? It's easy for us to just say, hey, look, if nothing happens immediately, because let's face it, I think human beings generally are looking for instant gratification. In our business, often that doesn't happen. So it's easy to step in and say, okay, it didn't cost us anything to get in, so it won't cost us a whole lot to get out. I think that's the reason for the high failure rate. And if you look, as you go along, as I mentioned, we're not in a business generally where you get instant gratification. Sometimes it happens, often not though, okay? As you can see, between failure and success along the timeline, it looks pretty much the same. We don't know if we're failing or succeeding until, if you practice a few simple disciplines, okay, over a long period of time consistently, you're going to ultimately see success. That's kind of a given. I mean, that's been proven over the centuries even. But however, if you keep on making errors in judgment and just keep on, if you're inconsistent and whatnot, you're going to see failure. You can see failure and success look pretty much the same along the timeline. So often we tend to quit somewhere before we decide, hey, we're being truly successful, or we better adjust from failure. That's why I think the failure rate is very high in our business. It's not because it's a difficult business. A good, clever association, whether it be Midlands REIA or anybody else, will offer an abundance of resources, provide great networking, and again, ideally in person, give the best training possible, always seek to improve and adapt, and learn and teach best practices for local investing. You have these national gurus out there teaching generalized stuff, and you find out, hey, it doesn't work too well in our markets. Here's an example. If you've ever done a lease option in South Carolina, the national gurus say, yeah, this is all you have to do, this, and this, okay? But in our local markets, they don't work that way. Lease options, they don't quite work the way the national gurus tell you. So find yourself a good local REIA with people who have the experience to do stuff like that. Okay. And that people who are obviously willing to teach you how local laws and regulations work. This one here, I joke around. I say Kristen's my daughter. Okay. But anyway, Kristen went out and got educated immediately. Okay. Linda, my wife, and I were watching Flip or Flop, and we saw them pop up these great looking numbers, okay, for some house in California. And they're saying, oh, you can get a total profit of $53,000. Kristen had been doing her homework, and she knew right away, no, there's things missing. Okay. So basically, this number here is a bunch of crap. Okay. This is another reason. And by the way, Tarek and Christina, they have national coaching programs. If they're going to teach you these kind of numbers, be careful. All right. Now, we are on the major social media outlets, Facebook, of course, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. However, if nothing else, go to this one here. This is our local deal making group on Facebook. Now, also, you can also access that from our website. Okay. Just go to our website, midlandsrea.com, and it's right here. If you click here, this will take you right to our Facebook group. Okay. And just go ahead and sign up. And there's obviously there's no entry fee or anything like that. Okay. And you'll see if people post a good deal, oftentimes you're going to see like, maybe 6, 8, 10, 12 people jump on it. Obviously, if it's something that nobody's interested in, you're not going to see a whole lot of activity. And also, it's not just a deal group. It's for funding. If you have a rehab you want funded, post it in here. We have private lenders who want to put their money into play. Okay. But also ask questions. Like, for example, we have some people here. Oh, assignment of rents. I might have an assignment. I don't know if Andrew's on here. I might actually have a template for that. So I have to check. But you can see here, people are also offering good potential services as well. Like Celia, she found a potential good dumpster rental thing. So anyway, that's what our Money Mastermind group on Facebook's for. And now I always get this at least once a month, if not a couple times a month. People want to know where the cash buyers are in the members area. Okay, I can show you right now. It's once you're logged in, you'll see like a pull down menu to our cash buyers list. These are proven cash buyers. I'd say about at least a third of them came from foreclosure sales that I go to. Normally I go to as many foreclosure sales that I can. You can see here, it's also their phone numbers as well. Okay, so if you get a deal under contract, you just let your fingers do the walk and start making calls. Okay, so I think we have a little over 50, 53 or 54. So anyway, so that's where the cash buyers list is. It's in the members area under cash buyers. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, we do have, among other things, house rehab workshops. This is Blair Koblisky. She's doing quite well as both a realtor as well as a rehabber, an investor. This is Eddie. This is the only contractor, frankly, that I truly trust in the Midlands area. But Eddie often runs a lot of our workshops. This one here was Blair's house in Hickory Street in Rosewood, I think it was. So anyway, we like to hold rehab workshops. Typically it's free for the members and a nominal fee, like $40 or so for like non-members. Okay. I think you'll find if you get a membership in Midlands REIA, I think you'll see it'll pay back itself quite a bit. And that's really our goal, is make sure you get your money back plus more. Now, a few other housekeeping and updates. There is no August meeting for Deborah Wanger. Usually has a ladies business networking meeting every month. There is no meeting this month. The next meeting will be on September 23rd. It's the fourth Thursday of the month. Okay, every fourth Thursday. And you need to RSVP. Deborah's the one I told you about. She's a seasoned property manager. She has over 80 rentals she's taken care of. When the pandemic hit, she said that they did even better than they did during non-pandemic times. She dug into the laws and the regulations, and they gave all sorts of assistance to tenants and whatnot. she knew where to go to get the money for the people she's managing these properties for. Okay. She knows what she's doing, when it comes to rentals. Now, there's a radio show, and this is the first time I've announced it because I've been listening to this radio show every Friday morning. It's in fact, our tonight's speaker is one of the co-hosts for it. But this here is actually a really good radio show. It talks real estate, different topics and whatnot. It's talking from an expert's point of view. So if nothing else, if you're driving to and from work or whatnot, by all means, or if you're listening in the office, by all means, tune into the radio, 100.7 FM, 1470 AM, or go to palmettorealestatepros.com. There's a link where you can listen on your computer. And as I mentioned in the past, I will have a calendar of events. And you can see here, if you click there, I put the Palmetto Real Estate Pros radio show every week now. And I'm going to continue doing that to let people know, hey, here's another resource. Okay, you can see here it's on every Friday. And as you can see here, Deborah's meeting, there's none here for her, but next month, September, her meeting is going to be September 23rd. Okay, right here. I'm sorry, it's every fourth Thursday. So now the one thing I missed, and please check this regularly. One thing I missed is there's a networking meeting. It's 1 million cups. I like going to that as well. It's going to be the first one back since the pandemic started, is going to be August 18th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. downtown, what's called the Noma Warehouse. As soon as this meeting's over, I'm going to go ahead and put that on here. So this one's going to be in person. I don't know if you've ever heard of MapQuest, mapquest.com. The founder of MapQuest is coming in to speak. Okay, you might want to hear this guy talk. He knows, he sold it for like, I think it was over $1 billion to Microsoft or something. Okay, so you might want to listen to this guy. All right, but I'll put that here after this meeting, and the information will be on our calendar of events. Okay. Now, this is something I found, I saw in my, I actually saw online, is I figured you might, I don't know if this applies to you or anyone you know or care about. Okay. Lexington County has a financial assistance program with regards to how COVID cut into people's incomes and whatnot. Okay. It's a grant program, basically free money if you qualify. It's not a loan, it's a grant. Okay. There's a few things about this. You have to be a Lexington County resident, and you must have an annual income that is at or below 80% of the area median income. Okay. Basically, if you have questions, if you or someone you know might be qualified, either go to lex-co.com and click the grants section, or call this phone number here and ask questions. Hey, it's free money. If you qualify, get it. Okay. So anyway, we're always looking for suggestions on how to improve. Are there topics you'd like to see covered that haven't been, or are there topics you don't care to see covered? Workshops. Are there other workshops? For the longest time before the pandemic hit, I want to hold a creative finance workshop, and I hadn't been able to put it together. And I had been able to put together, but the pandemic hit. So hopefully this will clear up, and we'll be able to have that workshop. Also subgroups. Can you think of subgroups you want, for example, the Midlands REIA Money Mastermind group, where the deals are flipped and funding and whatnot, private loans, that's a subgroup. Okay. If there's subgroups you'd like to see formed, let me know. Okay. If we can do it, if it's something that's sustainable, in terms of keeping people interested, by all means, let's do it. Annual member benefits overview, discounts on Midlands REIA trainings and workshops. We will have workshops and trainings, especially as the pandemic shuts down and venues open up. For members, unless it's an outside speaker, we can't control. Sometimes we have outside speakers come in, and these are speakers whose products I still use. I believe in, I've purchased, and I use them. If they hold a workshop, we're at the mercy of what they have to charge. However, if it's Midlands REIA, we typically have them free for the members, with a nominal fee for non-members. Okay. Sometimes we might have a small fee, but for the most part, they're usually free to Midlands REIA members. No door fee to general meetings, access to the members area with local cash buyers again, documents, videos, other resources. And I've had a lot of those documents reviewed by Legal Shield, by the way. Closed guidance for deals. That's Midlands REIA only. It's not a national thing because obviously, nationally, they're not going to lower local markets. Okay. And we have a small group of people who are very generous with their time and knowledge, like Andy Holland, Adrian and Mark Morgan, who are very prolific private lenders as well. They're quite willing to lend their knowledge and expertise. Carlos Pereira is another person with a lot of knowledge. He's one of the less heralded ones. And I think you should take a look at Carlos, especially. He's been in the real estate business since 2001. So I think he knows a few things. Now, when you sign up for Midlands REIA, an annual membership, okay, the first thing I'd like to do is schedule 3 webinars. These are live webinars. These are not recordings, okay? The first one is on the most important one, in my opinion, is finding deals from local sources with and without relying on realtors, okay? What I do is I take on a tour of a lot of the government well, we're not supposed to do this, but it's a lot of the government websites for public records information. Okay, we're looking for motivated sellers. For example, pre-foreclosures, probates, divorces, stuff like that. Okay, these are all free on the local government websites. Like I know there's a couple apps out there. You pay like $47 a month or $99 a month or something like that, and they give you this kind of information, but it's outdated by typically 3 months. Okay, we show you how to do this up-to-date stuff because it's directly from the courthouses for free. Okay, I don't understand that. Anyway, the second webinar is the basics of all cash purchases and sales, the very basics. Obviously, there's little hybrids in there and whatnot. Okay, it's basically things like using the 70% rule, stuff like that. Okay, the third one, creative finance techniques. That's really the fun one. That's the one I really like. Okay, it's subject to lease option seller finance. In fact, our tonight's speaker has been involved pretty heavily in the creative finance arena as a licensed broker in charge. That's highly unusual. Okay, so I'm glad that we're having him speak tonight. Each of these webinars is about 2 hours long. Okay, so if you sign up for Midlands REIA, a membership, an annual membership, let's schedule these right away and get these going. Okay. A few things is we provide basic tools and training to succeed. You have to take the consistent and persistent action. Okay, that would be you. Okay, we can only show you the tools and techniques, but we can't make you take the action. That has to be on you. We provide support as needed. We're reference librarians, basically. So I like to say, I hate using the term mentor. That irritates me. We're reference librarians is what I like to think of. I really like Morpheus. This guy is cool. Okay, but he tells it basically how we feel. We can only show you the door. You're the one who has to walk through it. Okay. Anyway, now get into the game. This is an Australian comedian. Okay, you can see this guy is not a bodybuilder, but he won back in 2011 Mr. New York State in the heavyweight division. He was the only entry. Okay, they had to give it to him. So he's in the record books as Mr. New York State of 2011 in the heavyweight bodybuilding division. Just get in the game. Okay, he won that title by accident. Wouldn't it be nice to make money in real estate investing by accident? Okay, get in the game and stay in the game. Annual membership for Midlands REIA is $125 per year for single, $200 for a couple. Again, that's free entrance at the meetings. For non-members, first visit is free. There's a door fee afterwards, $20. That's a door to help pay for the hotel and whatnot, or the venue, I should say. We may be switching venues. There are no benefits involved with that. And of course, the mentoring, I use the word mentoring again. I don't like that word, but anyway. And that $20 fee at the door now obviously this one's free, but when we're meeting in person, that can be applied to an annual membership. Tonight, we have, this is funny. I was driving on Harbison Boulevard and towards Columbiana Mall. And I saw a sign in the yard. It said lease option. Okay. And it described a little bit about the house, and I do backtrace on the phone numbers. I went back to Chad Jordan at the Palmetto Real Estate Group. I'm thinking to myself, okay, this gentleman's a broker in charge. You know, no broker in charge does creative finance. This just amazes me. Okay, so this is a person I definitely wanted to meet. And I sat down with Chad, and and I don't know, Chad may not remember this. I sat down with Stacy Pinckney, and Chad actually brought back he brought back to memory the use of limited powers of attorney for creative investing. And I very much appreciate that, because I use them now regularly again after many, many years of non-use. In 1991, he began real estate investing in single family houses. In 94, he formed his own professional investors group. In 2001, sounds like he quit his job and became a full-time investor. And he opened, as we skim down here, he opened his Palmetto Real Estate Group on, it's in West Columbia in 2011. So he's been around, around the block a couple times, and he became licensed as a real estate instructor with the South Carolina Real Estate Commission. And as of this year, he's co-host with Larry Jordan of the Palmetto Real Estate Pros radio show. Without any further ado, I will let Larry explain, Chad explain more about it, more of his beliefs and whatnot. Okay, I see. Okay.
Bob, I don't know if Chad can speak. His speaker's not working for some reason.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Larry, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. I don't know if
Chad,
Chad
can you
can
hear
or not. You there?
Okay, let me see if I can get Chad on. Hey, Larry,
Yes,
it
sir.
might be that your video's on. Is it okay if I shut your video off?
Sure, you can do that.
Yeah, it might be. I heard if you stop the video, sometimes that helps the bandwidth. Okay, Larry, can you say anything?
I can see you and I can hear you.
Okay, that didn't sound very good. Is everyone else hearing this kind of a muffled thing?
No, I hear just fine.
You can hear him fine?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off my video. It might be my video then. Okay, thanks, Jerome. Okay. Larry, Chad, are you on?
I'm with you. I don't know about Chad.
Okay, oh, I can hear you fine now is my video, I think. Let me see if I can get Chad to unmute.
That's his
Okay.
problem. He cannot unmute for some reason.
Oh, okay, I just unmuted him, it looks like. Chad, can you hear us? Ooh. Okay, Chad.
Oh.
Hey, Larry, it looks like he's unmuted.
I don't know why he can't get to us. He called me earlier and said he was having an issue.
Oh, okay. Let me give him a call. Oh,
All right.
let me give him a call. He might be texting me now.
All right. Well, we were looking forward to talking with your group.
Yeah, okay. It looks like, yeah, Chad just texted me, says he's gonna log back out and back in again. Let me yeah, if you could go ahead and let's see if we get a better connection maybe.
All right.
Okay, let me pull that up again. All right. Okay, Chad's getting back into the room here. As soon as he's in, I'm going to make him a co-host. All right. Now, Zoom's nice until it doesn't work.
Oh yeah, we would use it all the time.
This is actually probably the first time I've ever had any serious issues with Zoom.
We understand. You just don't like him. That's all.
Oh no, that ain't true. Okay. Okay, let's see if that helps. I'm gonna ask Chad to unmute. Okay. Okay, looks like Chad's unmuted. Chad, can you hear us? I'll be darned. Chad? What if it's on his computer?
I don't know. He's using the same type computer I have, so I can't understand why he can't get to us.
Okay, he's saying sorry, still nothing.
Yeah. But let me go back a little bit while we're waiting on him.
Okay.
I started investing in real estate when I was still a civil engineer. And I did that simply to have a way to send my kids to college, Chad, namely one of them. And as I started investing, I found out it was fun and it was going to make a good retirement for me at some point in time, because I realized, hey, I'm buying houses, but I'm not buying them. Other people are buying them for me. And Chad came along, he's just a teenager, and started getting interested in what I was doing. He bought his first house at 17 years old. I wish I would have started that early, but he started, and actually that transaction that he did could have been voidable since he was not 18 or older. But the other guy wanted to get rid of it. So he never said anything, neither did Chad. So he started investing very, very early. And we did that for years. We've done all kinds of workshop over the years, but what we wanted to talk a little bit tonight, if you'll let us, was about how our hobby turned into a business full time. And we buy, we sell, we rent, we lease, we teach, we do all kinds of things. But I think what's important for all of us that's in real estate is what do you think about real estate agents, and why is it important, even as an investor, to build a relationship with agents, or why not? And we think that a lot of people have this opinion that agents get paid all this money and they're making it, but on your team, and Bob, you know this, that you need a team of everybody. You need experts in every field. And most realtors are pretty well experts in their field, and they know things that that can help you as an investor. We started using real estate agents within a few years after we started, because they have the means of finding properties and helping you and assisting you. And really and truly, if they bring properties to me and I'm able to buy them, I don't mind paying them a commission for that, because I'm going to make more money in the end. It's built into my pricing. But the reason you need an agent is simply because help you marketing. If you think about it, and the reason we became agents, it gives us access to more tools. There's about 3,000 real estate agents in the Columbia area, at least there was. And if you've got a property for sale and you're trying to sell it on your own, you are one person reaching out to buyers or other sellers. But if you got a good real estate agent, they're able to stay in contact with those other 2,999 agents to help promote your properties to sell them. So just statistically, you're better off using them, especially on the selling side. But what you want to do is find one that's willing to work with you, that knows what you do, that understands what you do, and help you accomplish the goal that you have in mind. And that's kind of, Bob, you were talking about, we're kind of unique because we do that. We have a radio program that really Chad and I like to equip people to do the best we can, because real estate agents and investors get a bad name in the market. Real estate agents and realtors and investors statistically are on the bottom of the menu with used car salesmen as far as trust and credibility. My wife likes to remind me that because she's a nurse and she's second as accepted and most loved. And I guess because nurses help you get well, I don't know, but lawyers are down there with us too, by the way. So those are some things. Let's talk about a few things that happen with realtors. Bob, have you ever heard of a pocket listing?
I have. That's listings that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's listings that haven't been put in the MLS yet, but they're kind of passed around to your special buyers.
Yeah. Actually, according to law, it's for a realtor to do that, it's illegal. Because anytime they have a property for sale by an owner, they're to get it on that list as soon as possible. But what happens, the industry found that some realtors would get the listing and they didn't want to share the commission. So they would try for a little while to call some people they knew to sell the property. And the real estate commission felt that was a little bit unethical, let everybody have a shot at it. And then there was things that went out called a whisper price. You ever heard of that one before?
I hadn't heard that one. You say it's illegal, though. How do you enforce it? How do you enforce the law?
Well, if someone finds out, they can, if the realtor doesn't list it and the owner finds out, they could report them to LLR. They could be fined. They could lose their license. They could be disciplined. Just different things could happen. And sometimes they do what they call a whisper price. They'll tell people, we can take 105. I know it's listed for 130, but we can sell it for 105. And they say, don't tell anybody I told you. That's illegal as well. And then comes the wholesaling deal about if you have a license, can you still participate in wholesaling? The answer is yes. And there's different ways to do it. You have to acknowledge that you have interest in the property and what your interest may be. And then there's all kinds of combinations of things that you can do. But we like to tell people, if you're going to be in the business, here's some tools that you need in your toolbox. You need a good realtor that you can depend on to help you. They can help you tremendously. They have access to tools that you may not have, such as, and you can go do it, it just makes it hard. There's people that live out of state that have homes here in the South Carolina area that you can go to the courthouse and find out of state homeowners. Realtors can do it very quickly. If they're out of state homeowners and they're living in Nevada and they have a house here, chances are in this market we're in today, they might like to sell it. Does that make sense to you, Bob?
Yeah, actually, Larry, if it's okay, I just got a text from Chad. He still can't get on for some reason. I see he's unmuted. I don't suppose you're both in the same house, huh? Well, I meant to ask you, Larry. I'd heard that you're allowed one unlicensed assistant to have MLS access, their own login and stuff. Is that true, or?
Well, you can have like your front end office, the girl that does your bookkeeping or welcomes people in your office. She's not going out and selling real estate or listing properties, but she can have access to the MLS.
Okay, with her own login, right?
Yeah, but she can't go to show a house because she's not a licensed realtor, or he can't.
Okay.
But they can log into MLS if they're working for the broker in charge.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna
so
see if
that is true.
I'm gonna see if Chad can dial in.
All right, tell them to
Okay.
dial in. But
Yeah, okay. You know, the computer, I don't know if it's on his computer, if it's a Zoom thing, but I just texted him, see if he can dial in.
all right, well, let's see if he can get there. It'd be
Let me
good to
ask you
have him
this.
on here. But as I was saying, you need a good team realtor. You need to make sure that you have money available, either yours, hard money, or some way that you can purchase a property with consistency. You're going to need probably some repair people that you can trust to go over and look at it. Or if you don't know how to figure the costs, you need to come to one of our workshops or something so you
Yeah.
can learn how to figure what it's going to cost to rehab a home. All the things on television, remember, they're television. And a lot of the flips and flops and wholesalers, they're getting paid more from television than they are maybe making in the flipping of the properties.
Uh-huh.
So
Mhm.
those are some things you need to kind of be aware with, but everybody needs a team that they can work with. And you can have people, if you're wholesaling, kind of like Chad and I did for a while, we would have people that were on our team that would just tell us, hey, there's a vacant house around the corner. You might want to go look at it. And we had for a while, believe it or not, people, what I call Peter Greeter, the meter reader.
Mhm.
And he might call us and say, hey, I was going out through a house. There's a vacant house over at such and such street. And while we might not be able to give a commission, he liked going to Longhorn Steakhouse. So we made sure he went to Longhorn sometimes. And of course, the postman, while they can't tell you everything, sometimes if you befriend them, they might even tell you where vacant houses are. So just having people that, I guess the thing is, let people know what you're doing, and they may help you. And some don't want a reward. All they want to do is help a friend or somebody they know.
Mhm. Mhm.
So wholesaling, I like to hear the term, but I call it investing, making your money grow and finding properties that you become an asset to other people. And if you're doing that on a regular basis, and you're giving people a good deal on a house, one of the largest investments most people ever make, or if you're just buying one to put in your inventory, you're usually helping somebody. And one of the things Chad's and I always say, leave a little bit of money and stuff to help other people. Don't, as the Bible says, don't glean the field. Leave a little bit for the next guy to make. And we're seeing more and more of these investors online, these workshops online, these people that are out there looking out only for themselves and giving us all a bad name in the end when things don't work like they say. And you'll find people that make offers that have no way of closing that deal. An example I'll give you is we had a client recently that wholesaler went to them, said they'd buy their house for whatever dollars it was, and they only needed 90 days to close. Well, that should be a suspect right away. If they need 90 days, most likely that investor is trying to sell your note to someone else. That's not illegal, but they're trying to sell your option or your buyer or somebody the piece of paper that they have to a third or a fourth party. which if they tell you that up front and you can wait 90 days, great. But I'll just say this, you might be better putting it on the market right now because houses are selling quicker than 90 days for more than the asking price.
Mhm.
So all of those things come into play when we're talking about, should you have an agent? Should you not have on your team? And I've heard so many reasons why investors don't want to use real estate agents. I'm one, but I use other agents as well as myself. And we've gotten a reputation, Bob, that sometimes we have agents list a house that's pretty bad, and they will call us first before they call anybody else once they put it on the market and say, hey, I've got a great house. Are you interested? Because it's below market value. So you never know where you're going to make your next investment. So those are kind of things I would tell your viewers. If you go into a workshop, if you're going to listen to somebody, experience speaks volumes and references speak volumes. So be careful of the voices that you're listening to and the experience that we had. And Bob, I'll just tell you, most of the things we've learned through mistakes. Can you believe that?
No, I believe it. I've made some pretty expensive mistakes.
Yeah. When Chad and I started, we made some mistakes. And one of the things we do in one of our workbooks, we call a mistake a frog. Frogs are not tasty when they're raw. And so we say, if you got to eat a frog, eat it while it's little. When it gets big, it might eat you. So in some of these deals, it's better to just cut it off and get rid of the property as quick as you can if you messed up to start with. And there's all kinds of properties out there for us. Why do you want a license? Why do you want to be a realtor? Why do you want to be just a simple investor by yourself? And what happens when you make a mistake? Who can you get to help you undo the mistake? We've heard all kinds of stories with investors that quit because they made a mistake. I see a phone call.
Hey, are you there?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. Well, I finally had to call in. So this is a rare moment, I guess, that our Zoom is acting up. It's happened occasionally, but very rarely. So I apologize. I just kind of threw you out to the wolves. So I appreciate you stepping
That's
in there.
great, Chad. I'm glad you called in because I told them that you've been doing this since you were 17. You're only 19 now.
Thanks for coming.
Right.
On,
It's
Chad.
amazing. So yes, thank you guys for having us. And I apologize for the technological glitches. And this is the thing, when we can be live again, is so much better because we can interact in a much better way. But yeah, I think I've been listening. I have been listening, and everything you've said is correct, Dad. So this is good because we do have a radio show we just started. And so if you guys are out there listening to this, it's only a 1 hour show, but it's enough just to kind of get folks, some more information about real estate. And we kind of cover the full gamut of not only real estate investing, but the retail side of real estate. And so kind of one of the things Bob and I talked about when we wanted to come on and do this tonight was to talk about real estate agents and real estate investors working together, these kind of things. And our perspective may be a little bit different. And all those nice things that Bob put up on the screen that I did, my father there on the phone, he's the one, it's all his fault. He got me interested. He got me interested in real estate very young, 15, 16. He bought and sold some houses. And so I would tag along. And mostly what I did was get the paintbrush, mess things up, hammer nails in crooked, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Remember, I
but
would
it was
told
always
you told your mother I would never let you talk.
right. So, but it was good because it you know, the what really, I guess, turned it for me is when I think I was 15, maybe earlier than that. I went to a house that he was looking at, and the guy was in foreclosure, and so it had to be in the early 90s, late 80s, maybe, I don't know.
Late 80s.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, just it was the first time I saw a grown man cry at a table, and the reason he was crying was not because, although it was the house, the emotions, all that stuff, but it was because my father had offered him a solution to, you know, that he could help him with his house where nobody else would. And so that's probably why the investing side was so intrigued me, because I think it was that one or some of those houses in those times when I would be tag along on those journeys, is that a lot of the agents would not touch these houses. They didn't want anything to do with them. And so, you know, this is why agents get a bad rap, is that if there's not a commission that they can see that's easy, then they don't want anything to do with it. And you can't fault them in a way, because that's their livelihood. But where the fault is you didn't do any additional educating yourself to figure out how to help people. And so that's kind of where the creative financing comes in. And in today's market, this market will change. You know, I hope everyone understands that nothing is forever. It's going to change. It's going to get bad. Then it'll get better again. And it'll, you know, we'll have all those moments, just like we've been through, you know, downturns and, you know, peaks in the market. Those things will happen again. Right now, it's kind of easier because things are selling quickly. You can kind of be a little more lazy, because even if the house isn't great, you probably will still sell it because inventory is still low. You know, that's not going to last forever, but you do whatever is in the market. So you take advantage of the market that you have, and that's kind of what we're doing. But kind of backing up the train a little bit is why work with agents. You know, is there benefit to partnering with a company that's been on both sides of it? And I would definitely say yes. I mean, obviously we would love the opportunity to assist all the folks on the call today with their real estate investing, because we've been there, done that. You know, we've been through the highs and the lows of the market, and we do, you know, we don't know everything, but we've been around and seen a lot, and so may have a solution that maybe you didn't think of. You know, maybe another route to go on something. So how we got into real estate Bob was correct. In around 2000 or so, I got full time into real estate first. And how that happened was I was in insurance sales, not insurance sales. I was an adjuster. I worked at the place where they brought all the new General Motors cars in, and we inspected the vehicles. And so CSX paid part of our salary, and so did the trucking company at the time. If you go down Dixiana, you'll see the place. That's where I worked. And then I got into insurance adjusting when my wife told me, hey, we're going to have our first child. And remember what I told you? I want to stay home with our children. I said, yeah, I remember that. And I didn't think she was quite so serious, but she was serious. And so we were both making money, doing okay. And so she quit her job, and I had to go find a way to make twice the income. So I left the job I had because I wasn't making that much, although I enjoyed it, and did independent auto appraisals and adjusting for different firms. And so that was great, but I never got to see my kid the first year of my life. You know, I worked till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, then came home and worked till midnight. And so I said, I've got to do something different. And so we were still doing some real estate, still had some rentals at that time. And I thought, this seems like a better avenue for me. to do real estate, because the houses that we have, the people are still paying rent, and I didn't have to do anything to collect it other than make sure the house is available, make sure they're paying the rent, these kind of things. So 2000 took the leap and went full time into real estate. And what you were saying earlier on the phone, Larry or Dad, was that you build your team, and that's what we had to start doing. We did it on our own, but we started to build a team, a real estate attorney, a real estate agent. And, I can tell you from that journey, talking to real estate agents was kind of a challenge, because we were looking for properties and calling other agents. Sometimes it was like they didn't want to hear from you. And I don't know if any of you guys on the phone have kind of had that experience, but there's some reasons why that some agents don't want to work with investors. And so that's kind of one of the things we want to talk about for a few minutes while we have you, because I guess the first thing is, do you work with agents? And, that's either yes or no, or maybe, or only if I have to, maybe. But, it's why do you see a value there, or why do you not see a value there? And I could probably answer both of those because I've been on both sides. And one of the reasons I got my license, I got my license in 2006 and worked for one of the big brokerages. And so I've been on the inside of that. And so now we have our own brokerage. But one of the reasons I got my license was because I was frustrated with my agent. I was finding all the properties, and then he would get all the commission. And then on some of the properties that I couldn't work with, guess what we did? We would turn those over to our agent, and he would list them. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a crazy deal. The things I can't work, he gets to list them. And I mean, not that your commission is much less than what you can do with real estate investing, but still, we were basically giving stuff away. And so that's one reason that I got my license. But the main reason, I was just frustrated. And so we went through a couple different agents, and seemed like we were doing the work. And, I understand why they get frustrated, because you have to see a lot of properties. In a lot of cases, you have to make a lot of offers, and they want to do whatever is the low-hanging fruit, the path of least resistance. So you have to find someone who's willing to go on the journey with you, and you have to convince them that the journey's worth it. Because if you don't do that, then, they see it as a waste of time. But, those are some of the things that you could do very quickly if you're working with an agent. Maybe call them occasionally, thank them for, all the stuff they've done. And, if it's not working, then call us. We'd be glad to see where you're at, try to help you. And, there's enough to go around. I realized that pretty quickly. And some people kind of look at things through the lens of lack. And you want to find someone that sees there's, a lot out there for everybody. So you're not competing against us because we want you to be successful. We're going to find our own deals, do our own things, and hopefully we can help you do a lot more deals and do your things also. It's interesting. Yeah.
Just to interrupt you, just for the listeners to know, when I first got into investing in real estate, I bought a house that was really just given to me because a real estate agent didn't know anything other than a commission. We still own that house. You know
Right.
which house I'm talking about.
Yes, and I've forbidden you for selling it.
Yeah. But
That's
that was
right.
one
So
that
you can't sell that house.
the agent didn't know what to do with somebody that was in trouble. And I was trying to say, well, why didn't you do something? And in the end, he told me to go do it. And I went out there and really got paid to take the house. And we still own that house today. And the poor woman was crying paying me money to take her house because it had become an alligator eating her alive.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's what I was saying, find an agent that understands what to do.
Right. And so that's a perfect example of what we were talking about. And we found some really good agents. We've worked with some really good folks, and some that aren't so good. You know, one of the biggest things that agents, and that probably could say about a lot of different industries, is that nobody calls me back. I've called the agent 3 times. Nobody calls me back.
Right.
So I guess the first thing would be see if someone's going to call you back, you know, when you call them. And, you know, that's a good first step. If they're going to answer their phone or call you back. And we're on our phones a lot, probably like most of you guys are, but hopefully you get somebody that'll call you back. And one of the folks we worked with early in the early 2000s, after we kind of were getting our footing working with different agents, it was a team. It was two females. I think they were with Remax or one of the big companies at the time. And again, we were unlicensed at that time. And so we were just doing real estate investing. We had, I think, just got a tiny little office in West Columbia, but it worked. We just had moved out of the house, the garage or wherever we were. It was out of our office was like McDonald's at the time. Nothing wrong with that. They have Wi-Fi too, so it's awesome, and coffee. But at any rate, the folks we were working with started to we kind of trained the real estate agent, and they're like, wow, look at all this stuff you're doing, and how do you do that? How does subject to work? How does lease options work? How does this creative financing work? You know, because not every house we would buy with cash. Some we would take over debt, different things. And the real estate broker started to do some of these things. They started to work and do some of the stuff on their own. You know, when on their listing appointments, they would find out, well, this is not going to work for a listing. The house needs carpet, paint, and the people don't have the money to do it. So I don't want to put it on the market. And so they would basically just take the house too. But what they started to do was take over people's payments on their house and then not pay the payments. So these people that we were working with initially, unbeknownst to us behind the scenes, they were doing, really bad stuff and lost their license actually. And so, I guess that was our fault in a way, but all that to say that sometimes, you want a good relationship where you can learn from each other, but hopefully not something where people are doing stuff, working with a person that's going to do the right thing. And matter of fact, one of the folks is got their license, the partner of the broker, this thing on LLR's website, which is labor licensing and regulation. It's still on their record because they were, reprimanded, even though they weren't technically apart. They were partnered together, and so still out there. But it takes some time to find a good agent, just like any other part of your team. And our phone number, Bob had our phone number and stuff on there. I don't have the screen up, so I don't see, but our contact information is all around. So again, it's Chad and Larry Jordan. You can reach us by email. You can reach us by cell phone, or obviously listen to our show and see, what if there's interesting things that you can take away from the conversations we're having. And sometimes just one little thing can really change how you do things. I think this
Chad?
week on our show, yeah,
mention that.
I was going to say this week on the show, we're having, oh goodness, what's his name? It's our congressman. How do Jim, hello, Larry Jordan.
Go ahead.
One of the
I'm going to let you stumble. You don't know your congressman.
I know. I don't know. It's the West Columbia congressman will be on the show, and we're going to talk about this eviction moratorium. That's terrible. I can't remember. Probably all the fluster from all this technology stuff that's going on today. But at any rate, he's going to be we're going to have a congressman on the show, and we're going to talk about some of the things that affect real estate. And I'm just telling you, there is a lot of stuff going on right now that's affecting real estate. We have, the inventory issues. We have the state, federal, local government things going on. And so we're going to kind of talk about some of those things. One thing I wanted to mention also, another reason that you want to get a good real estate licensee is just one of the questions Bob had when we got on the line. I heard him ask is, can you have an unlicensed person doing certain things? So these are some of the things that a good real estate agent can help you with legal things, because we have to go through license law. We teach at the real estate school for the commission as well. And so there's a lot of things that are being talked about that maybe not law yet, but we kind of see things of the way the real estate commission and the Realtors Association talk, that we can kind of, maybe help you with some disclosures and things so that you stay out of potential legal trouble. And so one of those things that I think you touched on, Dad, when you were talking, was wholesaling. In the last continuing education that we did, one of the attorneys that was hosting the continuing education, they talked about wholesaling a lot. And I'm just going to tell you, they don't like it. They do not like it at all. They believe that you guys as investors wholesaling, that's you guys acting as an agent, which is illegal. Acting as an agent when you're not an agent is obviously illegal. And, we're kind of there to say, look, that's not illegal. If someone has a contract, selling a contract is not illegal. There's nothing illegal about that. But their take is you're getting a house under contract, and then the public believes or may believe that you're representing them. So there's an easy way to deal with that. If that's kind of where they're thinking, and you don't want to be caught on the carpet on something like that, then put a disclosure in there. I'm not representing you. I'm not a licensed agent. There's things that you can do, very simple things, but having an agent that's been there, done that, knows what's going on behind the scenes, can kind of help navigate that. And so those are some of the things that we do. That's just simple stuff, but that would be helpful, I think, if you're a real estate investor, especially new, or maybe even seasoned. We've had, before we were licensed, we've had people sue us. We've had people challenge our contracts. We've had people tell us that giving a dollar down on an option's not legal. Just about anything you can think of, we've been there, done that, and not all of it was real pleasant at the time. But it did help us grow. It helped us put things in place that not only help us, but it helps the people that, are partnered with us or affiliated with us in any way. So let's see.
Chad, while you're there, is a dollar legal?
Oh yeah, a dollar. Actually, you don't even need a dollar. And so this is one of the things in the license law. But some people are just intimidated. They get a letter from a lawyer, and they just kind of fold, thinking, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to be sued." And so, they have lawyers. You have lawyers. We all have lawyers. It's a big lawyer party. Matter of fact, I think when I came on, I heard the legal shield. That's great, right? That's a good thing to have, because everybody has a lawyer. But this is kind of some of the stuff that we've been a part of, unfortunately, the good, bad, and the ugly. But the ugly is kind of what helps, with future disclosures and making sure you're on the up and up. So I had a list, and this is not a comprehensive list, but I wanted to kind of shoot through some of the reasons that agents don't want to work with investors. And so, Dad, if you're there, you can help me, right? If I've forgotten some, but But if we know why they don't want to work with investors, there's probably some things we can do to kind of offset that. So the first one is, I just wrote down, as this is just me brainstorming, right? But why do agents not want to work with investors? Well, one thing, they see investors as sharks. They see investors as taking advantage of people. And so we know as investors, now you probably could say you take advantage of situations, but doesn't any business in a sense do that? It sees a problem and takes advantage of the problem. So you're more, think of it as offering a solution to a problem. But that's one of the things they think it's kind of bottom feeders, and we want to overcome that. And, you know, us as investors ourselves, hopefully we can be a part of that. And that's one reason we decided to do the show and the radio show and do things like this. We want people to know, you know, you can be an investor and make lots of money and do it the right way and have all your ducks in a row, if you will, so that you're not seen as that bottom feeder. Now we get amazing deals, and sometimes we list the properties, and sometimes we may buy a property, but that's one of them. So,
And Chad, we tell the truth too, because folks, we tell them you'd be better off wholesaling this, or you'd be better off listing this, or why don't we go together and we'll put some money in it and get our money together to help you get it sold, and we'll get reimbursed later. So there's all kinds of solutions, but we want everybody to come out as a win-win.
mm-hmm. So they see you as sharks, bottom feeders, shady, whatever word you want to use there. That's what some, I won't say all, but some licensees see as many investors. One of the biggest things is not because they see you as a bad person or anything like that, but it's a lot of work with little results. That's probably the biggest thing. And so if you kind of put yourself in the mindset of your typical agent, they see low commission and a lot of work. Submitting tons of offers or doing lots of work, looking up lots of comps, and then I never get anything in return. And so keep that in mind when you're talking to agents. And we one of the investors we have was just getting into the business, and we signed an agency agreement with him that he would work with us to find houses. And if he found his own house, we would help him negotiate the deals and things like that. And we found a house for him, negotiated the entire deal, and then sold the house when he was done. So I think that the commission when we bought the house, it was like $35,000 when we bought the house, and we had a $5,000 fee. So he was in for 40. Well, he fixed the house up and about ruined the whole deal on his fix up by getting all of his buddies to do the work for him. And it took way too long. We kept telling him, don't do that. But he finished it. We had to help him get our guys to help him finish it out. And I think he sold the house for what he put 20 in it, $20,000 in the house, and then sold it for $129. And then we got the commission when we sold it. So did he do okay? He did amazing. He was thrilled. It was the biggest check he ever got in his life at one time. And so we were happy. We got some money out of the deal.
Chad? You want to tell him how much that check was he got?
I can't remember. We could do the math. It was like $35,000 or 40.
$35,000, which he could have made
Yeah.
a lot more had he not made mistakes. But there again, you're learning through your mistakes.
Well, and in the highest paid job he had ever had, he'd been in manufacturing, I think was like $45,000 in manufacturing
A year.
And so, yeah, so he could do 2 properties, which is, not too much effort, or a lot less effort than working, 12 hours a day in a manufacturing place. So, that's what we want. And he wouldn't have done that without us. Now, maybe you don't need that level of help, but if you get somebody that can help you, it's worth it. and if you have to pay people to do that, it's worth it. And, we've learned that, and sometimes, even as, someone who's been doing it a while, you think, well, I could do that myself. Well, that's true. You could do it yourself. But what's the time and the effort that you've invested in it when you could have been finding more deals? So your sole job as a investor is to find properties. I mean, that should be like goal number one, find properties. And anything that takes you away from finding properties should be secondary or put out to someone else who can do it. And that's where kind of a good agency can come in and help with those kind of things. So just something to consider. So on the other side of that, so you got the lower commissions viewed in a certain way. This is why some agents don't want to work with investors. One of the other reasons right now is it's just busy. Agents are busy. And so again, they want to take the thing that's in front of them where they can get the fastest commission with the least amount of work. And so that's a huge reason. On the flip side of that, though, there's probably reasons you don't want to work with an agent. And probably the biggest one is commissions. Well, I think I just kind of covered that. It might be that you do better by paying a commission and giving it out to someone else than to try to keep all the money. And I'm using quotation, air quotes, right? Keep all the money. The more people you have on your team, it would be correct to say there's probably somebody's, wants to get paid. Everybody wants to get paid, but if you're fair about it, you can end up making a lot more by doing, better volume or getting the deals together faster, having the experts there to kind of save you the money. And really, I saw a statistic the other day that a for sale by owner or FSBO, that most FSBOs, I think it was about 90% of a for sale by owner ends up being sold by a real estate agent. And why don't they list it right away? It's probably because of the commission. But then you have to ask, well, why do 95 or 90% of them end up being listed? It's because the seller finds out, well, this is like a lot of work. I have to show my house. I have to pre-screen people. I have to see if they have their financing in order. So there's all these different things they didn't think about. They just thought, I'll put a sign out in the yard and I'll sell the house. Now, maybe you can do that and it's easy, and right now it might be a little easier, but they're still worth something to have someone else do all that stuff. And maybe there's something that could be negotiated. I think not this Friday, but the following Friday, we're going to have the president of the South Carolina Realtor Association on the show. And one of the reasons we wanted to have him on the show is there's a lawsuit by the DOJ, the Department of Justice, against the Realtors Association about commissions. And so one of the things that, I guess realtors are making too much money. And if you think it's just realtors, it's anybody in the real estate industry. Anytime there's a lot of money being made, somebody's going to get upset. It's just a sad reality. If you make a lot of money, investors start making a lot of money, then there's going to be some new laws against that. I think North Carolina has some very different and pretty tight rules associated with real estate investors. Like some things that we can do in our state, you can't do there. And it's not a given that it's not going to happen here. And the only way it's not going to happen here is if we're involved. And so we're going to have him come on the show and talk about some of those things because it does affect the whole industry, not just realtors. So that's some of the things that we do. And we kind of keep an ear to the ground so we can see what's coming before it hits and be shocked by it.
And Joe's this Friday, right, Chad?
Joe Wilson. Thank you. That's all. I said Jim. I kept saying Jim. It was in my head. Jim. Joe Wilson.
I was just
thank
letting
you.
you go for a little bit.
Well, thank you for hanging me there. But yeah, Joe Wilson. That's right. He's our congressman for our area. So, But I think he's going to be on for 15 minutes or so. But it should be interesting to hear what he has to say about the eviction moratorium. And
I
some
think
other
he's
things
coming
that
on
are
about
being looked at.
9:30, 9:45 this Friday.
Right. So we'll have some good guests. One of the things before we got off the phone here, I know we don't have much time. We don't want to go too late, but I wanted to mention, so if you've made it to the point where you're like, okay, I see the need that, maybe not right now, but I do want to find a good real estate agent. Again, my hand is raised. Just call us. It doesn't cost anything to talk. Maybe we're not a good fit. Maybe you already know somebody that can help you. I would just caution you to interview the people that you're going to try to work with, because not every agent is the same. I mean, some want to do certain things and some don't. And, they may say, well, I can do everything, which is true. They can do, I guess, represent people in any type of real estate, but we all know that real estate investing is different than representing, a single family home where a family's trying to move. I mean, it's just a different thing. So just to interview those folks. So one of the things that I think would be helpful is to kind of think about what that conversation might look like. What should you say if you're interviewing agents? What are some of the things that might be helpful? And I think, Dad, you may have mentioned some of them already, but one of the biggest things I believe would be just to tell people where you're at, what's going on in your life, in your business. And so people don't know unless you tell them. And if you have a track record, it's a great opportunity to bring out your track record. I mean, you don't have to bring a resume or anything, but that is helpful to at least be able to say, hey, I've bought and sold 3 houses so far in 2021. And I would like to do 3 more houses by the end of the year. And if you think of it from the perspective of the agent, what they're hearing is, okay, that's 6 houses. They did 3, they want 3 more. That's 6 properties, that's 6 commissions. Or it could be 12 commissions, right? I mean, if you say, hey, look, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like, if you can help me find the house, then, I'll use you guys to buy it. And then when I sell it, I'll use you to sell it. So that's 2 transactions. And what the real estate, I guess, licensees or the real estate industry would say, that's sides. That's what they would call it, a side. So you got the buy side and the sell side. And so, and they track all this stuff. When it goes into MLS, they get, I mean, it's not really credit, but, it gets to show as another transaction they did. So it increases their volume. It increases their number of units sold. And so that's good for the agent. And so if you could kind of think of it as what's in it for them instead of what's in it for me, it really can transform how you talk to anybody, really, because, a lot of people are concerned about themselves, which we all are. But if you kind of take the perspective of what would be a reason why this person would want to work with me, that's good. And so when you're talking to other agents, forming a long-term relationship, I think that's really, really helpful. Not just a one and done, hey, look up comps for me and I'll maybe get back to you at some point if I buy anything. Because what you're asking when you say, hey, can you run comps for me, is can you do work for me and then give me the information for free and then I might use you one day. That's not a great incentive for a real estate agent. It's like calling a lawyer and saying, hey, give me legal advice, and if I need you, I'll call you. That usually people don't like to work that way. They say, hey, I'd be glad to help you. Tell me what you're trying to accomplish, and maybe we can form some kind of, it doesn't mean you have to work with that person on every single transaction, but at least an opportunity in the future to work together. So that would be great. And if you have no track record, what do you do? Well, this is a great question, because people that are new, what do you do? Well, that you heard that term, fake it till you make it. Well, you could do that, but I think maybe a better way is to tell people what your plans are. If you don't have anything under your belt yet, you know, you guys are in a group right now, the Midlands REIA, which is amazing because you can use the group. I'm part of the Midlands REIA. And so far in our group, you can mention, I've heard Bob talk about all the people that, you know, are on these videos and the opportunities he has for training and whatnot. Mention that stuff. You know, come with a partner. Sometimes that helps. You know, when you're first starting, it's better to have a partner and do something rather than no partner and nothing. You know, we tell new agents this when they get their license. They say, well, what is my split? They're talking about the split with the brokerage. It really doesn't matter what the split is if you don't do any business. So if you get 100% of the commission, but you never sell a house, I don't think that helps so much. Whereas, what if you only got 50%, but we showed you how to do 50, 60, 70 transactions a year? You'd be much better doing that. And it's not to say that the splits are 50-50, but it's a much better, you know, if you have somebody to help you. I know Bob said, you know, the term mentor is probably overused and beat up, and that's probably why he doesn't like to use it. But training, help is huge. So if you have a track record, use it. If you don't have a track record, talk about your plan for growth and what you want to accomplish. Do you have anything to add there, Mr. Jordan?
Yeah, just for people to know, the average real estate agent in Columbia is making about $22,000 to $23,000 a year, Chad? Something like that.
I think that's last I saw.
So they're not getting wealthy being a real estate agent for the most part, and some agents don't last a year. Chad and I teach classes, but it's you got to work at it. So most of them will know that, and they'll try to work with you, especially, and this may sound strange to some, but if you're doing a wholesale deal and you're making, like this one guy did, $35,000, maybe it'd be worth you giving $1,000 to that agent as a little bonus, which you can do whether buying or selling, to show appreciation for their effort. And they won't leave you at that point. They'll want to do more business with you if you give them a little.
Well, and
$1,000, it could be anything that shows that you care about their welfare too.
And you know, you reminded me of something when you were saying that. There were some major changes in the license law in 2017, which some of it was really good, which allowed for brokerages and whatnot to actually charge service fees. I guess it was always kind of there, but it without signing an agency agreement where you can get paid, and even though you're not representing someone. And so there's lots of legal stuff in there that we have to be careful of. And this is one reason, you know, when we first got into the business, all the seminars, all the things we went to, we've done all that stuff. And they were like, never get your license. You remember? Don't get your license. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. And I see why, in a way, because once I got my license, I realized it's harder to represent people than it is to go out and do your own stuff, because we have an obligation to represent other people, which is a higher fiduciary responsibility than just doing it on my own, buying and selling a house.
All right.
You
Well,
there?
I hope that's helped a little
Okay.
bit tonight. And don't forget,
Yep.
Chad, Joe's coming Friday.
Joe Wilson. Yes. Don't let him know I forgot his name. I don't know. These senators and Congress people might get upset and do something.
Hey,
Well,
Chad, Larry,
He wants your vote anyhow.
can you see my screen where it has Palmetto Real Estate Group on it?
No.
I'll be darned. I want everyone to see that.
Midlands REIA.
Ah, crap. I'm sorry about that. Let me,
Bob,
That's all
is
right.
that the screen that looked like a screenshot? I mean, I can see Palmetto Real Estate Group with a photo picture.
Oh, okay. Can you see like the phone number and whatnot?
Yes, I can
Palmetto's
see the
like-
phone number.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want everyone to see. That's because Chad was mentioning about the phone number and stuff. And you're right. I forgot to put it on the slide. Sorry about that. But
Well, I can see it.
Bob, if you can maybe put in the chat box or something for everybody. My email is chad@palmettoreg.com.
okay, Chad at oops, I'm sorry. At reg.com. Okay. And also put your,
And you can put my cell phone in there is fine. So if you guys need anything, we're around. Our office, like he mentioned, is in West Columbia, about a mile from the Gervais Street bridge. So we're kind of right there on Highway 1.
okay, let me put in your word. Okay. 606-2848.
2848. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I just wanted to mention that I think you're the first broker in charge I ever heard use the term subject to and not say that's illegal. Thank you.
Right.
My respect for you just jumped up 2 more pegs. So,
Right.
2 more levels.
Well, and it's funny because on the contract, we have a contract and this is one of the frustrations I had with agents, to be honest, because we would buy houses subject to, we still have some of them from 20 years ago. But there was a contract, there's a contract in the realtor documents. We get, documents from Realtor Association, all this stuff. And it has a place on the contract that says loans taken subject to, and a place where you check. And I actually took the thing out one time before I had my license. I said, what does that say right there? And they said, oh, it says loans taken subject to. I said, why would it be illegal if it's all right on the contract? And they couldn't really answer that, but they hear things and they hear stories and they don't check it out for themselves. And so that's frustrating, but there's some really great agents out there. And I hope if the folks listening, are considering, checking some agents out, we'd be glad to talk. I mean, it's just
Chad,
be
one
glad to talk.
thing we did not mention there, every one of you out there, go get on your team and become friends with an attorney that does real estate.
All right. And I think Bob has some really good contacts in that regard as well. So
Yeah.
that's
just-
good. Well, Bob, we appreciate you having us on, and we'll have to do it again when you can actually see us face to face
I'd
one
enjoy
day,
that.
right?
Yeah, hopefully the next
Yeah.
one will be live in person. But yeah, you have a couple of
Mhm.
shout outs. Harold Riley saying, hey, Chad, and Tracy Selfridge is saying, hey, Larry, you taught me in real estate class. So you have fans in the crowd here. So
Okay. Harold Riley. I know Harold. That's good.
oh yeah. But
Awesome.
well, I want to thank you both for coming on. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for you and the Palmetto Real Estate Group. And I definitely would love to, have you talk in person if and when you have time. So, but everyone, don't forget every Friday morning, 9 a.m. and look at our calendar of events if you need to get to the Palmetto Real Estate Pros radio show. Great information on there. Does anyone have any last questions for Larry and Chad? Speak now or forever hold your peace until they come back on.
That's right.
Looks like we're okay, but well, thank you again. This is very informative. I especially like the part about the unlicensed access to MLS. That's really good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
But Shacklin
Right.
says great
Yeah,
information.
there's no
Thank
limit
you.
to how many unlicensed people you can have. The legal term for that is ministerial acts. They can't do anything that a licensee, they can't give advice. So if you called and said, hey, help me understand how to price a house, they can't do that.
So we just have to clear it
Only
with the
an agent
broker in
can do it.
charge, right? So
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
thank you. I appreciate that. Everyone, you heard it from the horse's mouth, an educator. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right. Well, Bob
Thank you. What?
and guys, we thank you and best of luck to everyone. Hope you make tons of money and hopefully you'll join us Friday morning at 9.
Friday morning at 9. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, everyone, I'll have the recording up
All right.
later. Okay. Yeah,
All
thanks a
right.
lot. I
Thank you.
appreciate it, gentlemen. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Great call. Thanks.
Thanks, Sarah.